15 black celebrities who secretly hid their sexuality. What if some of the most celebrated black stars in history spent years hiding a deeply personal truth from the world? Behind the platinum records, standing ovations, and legendary careers were lives shaped by secrecy, pressure, and difficult choices. In an era when revealing one's sexuality could destroy a career overnight, many celebrities chose silence over risk. But what was really happening behind the spotlight? Today, we are uncovering the fascinating stories of 15 black celebrities whose private lives remained largely hidden from public view. Some rumors shocked fans, others revealed heartbreaking realities. Before we begin, subscribe to Golden Black Legends and tell us in the comments which story surprised you the most. Whitney Houston. Few voices in music history have left a mark as powerful as Whitney Houston's. With more than 200 million records sold worldwide, she became one of the best-selling artists of all time, captivating audiences with a voice that seemed effortless yet deeply emotional. Songs such as "I Will Always Love You," "Greatest Love of All," and "I Have Nothing" transformed her into a global icon. Yet behind the extraordinary success was a woman who spent much of her life balancing public expectations with private realities. Born in Newark, New Jersey, Whitney was surrounded by musical greatness from the beginning. As the daughter of gospel singer Cissy Houston and cousin of Dionne Warwick, she appeared destined for stardom. By the mid-1980s, she had become one of the biggest names in entertainment, breaking records and crossing cultural boundaries. Her debut album alone produced multiple #1 hits and launched a career that reshaped modern pop and R&B music. As her fame grew, so did intense media scrutiny. Throughout her career, rumors circulated regarding various aspects of her personal life, including her close relationship with longtime friend Robin Crawford. For decades, Whitney chose not to publicly discuss those rumors, preferring to keep her private life away from headlines. Years after Whitney's passing, Crawford's memoir offered additional insight into their deep bond, fueling ongoing discussions about the pressures celebrities often face when navigating personal identity under the public spotlight. Regardless of speculation, Whitney's greatest legacy remains her artistry. She won 6 Grammy Awards, starred in successful films, and inspired generations of singers around the world. Her influence can still be heard in countless vocalists today. Whitney Houston's story is ultimately one of remarkable talent, extraordinary achievement, and the complicated realities that can accompany global fame. Even years after her passing in 2012, her voice continues to move listeners, reminding us why she remains one of the most beloved performers in music history. Paul Winfield. Long before conversations about representation became common in Hollywood, Paul Winfield built a career defined by dignity, talent, and perseverance. Born in Los Angeles in 1939, he emerged during an era when meaningful opportunities for black actors were often limited. Through determination and exceptional ability, he established himself as one of the most respected performers of his generation, earning acclaim on stage, television, and film. Winfield's breakthrough arrived with the critically acclaimed 1972 film Sounder. His moving portrayal of Nathan Lee Morgan earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, making him one of the few black actors of that era to receive such recognition. The performance showcased his remarkable range and introduced audiences to an artist capable of bringing extraordinary depth to every role he played. Over the following decades, he appeared in numerous productions including Roots, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and The Terminator, consistently delivering memorable performances. Behind the scenes, Winfield maintained a private personal life. During much of the 20th century, openly discussing sexuality could carry serious professional consequences, particularly for black actors working in mainstream entertainment. Although he rarely addressed the subject publicly, later accounts and biographical sources documented his long-term relationship with architect Charles Gillen Jr. Their partnership lasted for many years and remained largely outside public discussion, reflecting the social realities of the time. What makes Paul Winfield's story particularly compelling is the balance he maintained between personal privacy and professional excellence. He refused to allow public speculation to overshadow his work. Instead, he focused on creating performances that spoke for themselves. His talent earned widespread respect from audiences and fellow actors alike. When Paul Winfield passed away in 2004 at age 64, Hollywood lost one of its most accomplished performers. Today, his legacy extends beyond awards and accolades. He remains an important figure in both Black cinema history and the broader story of artists who navigated complex personal realities while pursuing excellence in an industry that was often far less accepting than it is today. Billy Preston. Billy Preston's life was a remarkable blend of extraordinary musical talent, historic achievements, and personal struggles that remained largely hidden from public view. Born in Houston, Texas in 1946 and raised in Los Angeles, Preston displayed prodigious musical ability from an early age. By the time he was a child, he was already performing gospel music and impressing audiences with his exceptional keyboard skills. His gift would eventually earn him a place alongside some of the most influential artists in modern music history. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Preston became known as one of the greatest keyboard players in popular music. He worked closely with legendary acts, including the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, contributing to recordings that shaped an entire generation. In fact, he was one of the few musicians ever credited on a Beatles single, a distinction that reflected the immense respect he commanded among fellow performers. As a solo artist, he achieved major success with hits such as Will It Go Round in Circles and Nothing from Nothing, both of which reached the top of the charts. Yet while audiences celebrated his musical brilliance, Preston remained intensely private about many aspects of his personal life. Growing up during an era when openly discussing sexuality could jeopardize careers, particularly within religious and entertainment circles, he rarely addressed such matters publicly. Following his death in 2006, several biographical accounts and interviews contributed to broader conversations about the challenges he may have faced while balancing personal identity and public expectations. What remains undisputed is his immense influence on music. Fellow musicians consistently praised his creativity, technical skill, and ability to elevate every recording he touched. His keyboard work helped define the sound of countless classic songs. Today, Billy Preston is remembered not only as a gifted performer, but as a pioneering musician whose artistry transcended genres. His legacy continues through the timeless recordings he helped create and the inspiration he provides to musicians around the world. Alvin Ailey. Few artists transformed the world of dance as profoundly as Alvin Ailey. Born in rural Texas in 1931, during a period marked by segregation and limited opportunities for Black Americans, Ailey experienced hardship from an early age. Yet from those difficult beginnings emerged a visionary whose work would forever change the landscape of modern dance and elevate Black stories onto some of the world's most prestigious stages. After moving to Los Angeles as a teenager, Ailey discovered dance and quickly recognized its power as a form of storytelling. He studied diligently, absorbing influences from ballet, jazz, modern dance, and African American cultural traditions. In 1958, he founded the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, a company that would become one of the most celebrated dance institutions in history. Through powerful performances, the company introduced audiences worldwide to narratives rooted in Black culture, resilience, spirituality, and hope. Among his greatest achievements was the creation of Revelations in 1960. Inspired by African American spirituals and gospel traditions, the work remains one of the most performed and beloved dance pieces ever created. Decades later, it continues to move audiences with its emotional depth and universal themes of struggle and triumph. Although Ailey's professional accomplishments were widely recognized, he maintained considerable privacy regarding aspects of his personal life. During much of the 20th century, openly identifying as gay carried significant social and professional risks. Many historians and biographers have since discussed the challenges he likely faced while navigating those realities within the arts community and broader society. When Alvin Ailey passed away in 1989 at age 58, the world lost a transformative creative force, yet his influence never disappeared. His company continues to perform globally, introducing new generations to his vision. More than a choreographer, Ailey was a storyteller who used movement to celebrate humanity, dignity, and perseverance. His legacy remains one of the most enduring in the history of American performing arts. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross possessed one of the most recognizable voices in modern music. Smooth, elegant, and emotionally rich, his singing defined countless love songs and established him as one of the greatest R&B vocalists of all time. Born in New York City in 1951, Vandross developed a passion for music at a young age and eventually built a career that would earn him millions of devoted fans across the globe. Before becoming a superstar, he spent years working behind the scenes as a songwriter and backing vocalist. His talents brought him into contact with major artists including David Bowie, Chic, and numerous recording legends. Those experiences refined his craft and prepared him for a successful solo career. When he released Never Too Much in 1981, audiences immediately recognized that a major new voice had arrived. The title track became a classic, and a string of successful albums followed over the next 2 decades. Throughout his career, Vandross sold more than 40 million records worldwide and won multiple Grammy Awards. Songs such as Here and Now, Dance with My Father, and Power of Love/Love Power showcased his extraordinary ability to communicate emotion through music. His recordings became soundtracks for weddings, anniversaries, and countless personal memories. Despite his fame, Luther remained remarkably private. Unlike many celebrities, he rarely discussed his romantic life in interviews. This discretion led to years of speculation from both media and fans. Various biographers, friends, and commentators later explored the possibility that he may have chosen privacy because of the social pressures facing black entertainers during much of his career. However, Vandross himself never publicly defined his sexuality. That distinction is important because his story is not one of confirmed public disclosure, but of personal privacy. Regardless of speculation, his musical achievements remain unquestioned. When he passed away in 2005 at age 54, the world lost a singular talent whose voice continues to resonate. His legacy endures through timeless songs that still touch listeners decades after they were first recorded. Jermaine Stewart. Jermaine Stewart brought charisma, style, and infectious energy to the music scene during the 1980s. Born in Columbus, Ohio in 1957, he initially pursued dance before discovering opportunities in the music industry. His natural stage presence quickly distinguished him from many of his contemporaries, helping him develop a unique identity during one of pop music's most competitive eras. Stewart first gained experience as a dancer and backing performer, appearing alongside established artists while learning the demands of professional entertainment. Those early opportunities helped him refine his skills and prepare for a career as a solo recording artist. His breakthrough arrived in 1986 with the release of We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off, a song that became an international hit and remains associated with his name decades later. The track's playful message and memorable melody resonated with audiences worldwide, making Stewart a recognizable figure on radio and television. What set him apart was his ability to combine strong vocals with theatrical performance. His colorful fashion choices, energetic choreography, and distinctive personality made him a standout during an era known for bold artistic expression. Yet beneath the success, Stewart also navigated personal challenges that were rarely discussed publicly. Like many entertainers of his generation, he lived during a period when conversations surrounding sexuality and HIV/AIDS were often surrounded by stigma, misunderstanding, and fear. Over time, discussions about his personal life became part of broader conversations about the experiences of LGBTQ+ artists in the entertainment industry. While he remained focused on his music and performances, his story later gained significance within the context of cultural history and representation. Jermaine Stewart passed away in 1997 at the age of 39, leaving behind a career that, though relatively brief, made a lasting impact. His music continues to evoke nostalgia for the 1980s, while also reminding audiences of an artist whose talent and individuality helped him stand out in a crowded field. Today, he remains remembered for both his memorable recordings and his vibrant presence on stage. James Cleveland. Few figures shaped modern gospel music more profoundly than James Cleveland. Often called the King of Gospel, he transformed a genre rooted in church traditions into a powerful cultural force that reached audiences far beyond the sanctuary. Born in Chicago in 1931, Cleveland displayed musical talent at an early age and began performing while still a child. What followed was a career that would influence generations of singers, choirs, and church musicians across America. During the 1960s and 1970s, Cleveland became one of gospel music's most recognizable voices. His recordings combined traditional spiritual themes with contemporary arrangements, creating a sound that felt both deeply rooted and refreshingly modern. Songs such as "Peace Be Still" and numerous live recordings helped establish him as a towering presence within gospel music. Beyond performing, he founded the Gospel Music Workshop of America, an organization that trained and inspired thousands of aspiring artists. Many future stars credited Cleveland with helping shape their careers. Yet his influence extended beyond music. He became a respected church leader and mentor, whose impact could be felt throughout Black religious communities. At the same time, his life was not without controversy. In later years, discussions emerged regarding allegations and questions about his private life. These topics became part of broader conversations about the pressures faced by Black religious leaders during an era when discussions surrounding sexuality were often considered taboo, particularly within church environments. Regardless of those debates, Cleveland's musical legacy remains undeniable. He won multiple Grammy Awards, recorded dozens of influential albums, and helped redefine what gospel music could achieve. His ability to connect faith, emotion, and musical excellence earned him admiration from audiences around the world. When James Cleveland passed away in 1991 at age 59, gospel music lost one of its most important architects. Decades later, his influence remains deeply embedded in church choirs, contemporary gospel recordings, and the countless artists who continue to build upon the foundation he helped create. Johnny Mathis. For more than 7 decades, Johnny Mathis has remained one of the most beloved voices in American music. With his smooth delivery, romantic ballads, and remarkable longevity, he built a career that few entertainers have ever matched. Born in Texas in 1935 and raised in San Francisco, Mathis demonstrated extraordinary talent from an early age. Although he excelled in athletics and was considered a promising high jumper, music ultimately became his true calling. His rise to fame began during the 1950s when audiences fell in love with his elegant vocal style. Hits such as "Chances Are Miss Misty" and "It's Not For Me To Say" established him as one of the premier singers of his generation. Over the decades, he sold tens of millions of records and became one of the best-selling recording artists in history. His Christmas albums in particular became seasonal favorites that continue to reach new listeners every year. Unlike many celebrities, Mathis maintained a relatively private personal life for much of his career. During the height of his success, public discussions surrounding sexuality were often handled very differently than they are today. For many entertainers, revealing personal details could threaten careers and public acceptance. As a result, Mathis generally focused public attention on his music rather than his private affairs. Over time, however, he became more open in interviews and discussions about his life. His honesty earned respect from fans who admired both his artistry and his authenticity. Rather than allowing public expectations to define him, he continued building a career centered on professionalism, excellence, and timeless music. Now in his 90s, Johnny Mathis remains a remarkable symbol of longevity in entertainment. His voice helped define an era of popular music, and his influence continues to be felt across generations. While many artists come and go, Mathis created a legacy built on consistency, talent, and grace. His story stands as a testament to perseverance and the enduring power of genuine artistry. Howard Rollins possessed the kind of talent that seemed destined for greatness from the moment audiences first saw him on screen. Born in Baltimore in 1950, he emerged during a period when opportunities for black actors were expanding but still limited. Through determination, intelligence, and exceptional acting ability, Rollins quickly established himself as one of the most respected performers of his generation. His breakthrough came with the critically acclaimed film Ragtime in 1981. His powerful performance earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor and introduced Hollywood to a remarkable new talent. He later gained even wider recognition through projects such as A Soldier's Story and the television series In the Heat of the Night, where his portrayal of Detective Virgil Tibbs earned widespread praise. Audiences admired his commanding presence, emotional depth, and ability to bring authenticity to complex characters. Behind the success, however, Rollins faced significant personal struggles. Throughout much of his career, he lived during a time when discussions surrounding sexuality, addiction, and personal identity were often met with stigma and misunderstanding. Biographical accounts published after his death have examined aspects of his private life that remained largely outside public discussion while he was alive. These realities reflected broader social pressures experienced by many performers of his era. As the years progressed, legal troubles and health challenges began affecting both his personal life and professional opportunities. Despite these difficulties, his artistic achievements remained undeniable. Fellow actors and critics consistently recognized the extraordinary talent he brought to every role. When Howard Rollins passed away in 1996 at age 46 from complications related to AIDS-associated lymphoma, the entertainment industry lost a gifted performer far too soon. Today, his legacy endures through the memorable characters he portrayed and the barriers he helped break for future generations of black actors. His story remains both inspiring and tragic, a reminder of extraordinary potential, remarkable achievement, and the complex realities many artists faced behind the spotlight. Barbara Jordan's life was defined by courage, intelligence, and an unwavering commitment to public service. Born in Houston, Texas, in 1936, she grew up during an era of segregation and limited opportunities for African Americans. Yet through determination and academic excellence, she rose to become one of the most influential political figures of the 20th century. After studying political science and law, Jordan entered public life with a clear sense of purpose. Her talent as an orator quickly distinguished her from many of her peers. In 1966, she became the first African American woman elected to the Texas Senate since Reconstruction. The achievement marked a significant milestone, but it was only the beginning of her national impact. Jordan gained widespread recognition after her election to the United States House of Representatives in 1972. During the Watergate hearings, her powerful speeches demonstrated constitutional expertise, integrity, and moral clarity. Millions of Americans watched as she delivered arguments that transcended partisan politics and emphasized democratic principles. Her eloquence transformed her into one of the most respected voices in the country. Although she spent much of her life in the public eye, Jordan remained intensely private regarding personal matters. Historians later documented her long-term relationship with Nancy Earl, a relationship that remained largely outside public discussion during her political career. Like many public figures of her generation, Jordan lived during a period when openness about personal identity carried significant political and social risks. Despite ongoing health challenges, including multiple sclerosis, she continued teaching, speaking, and inspiring future leaders. Her influence extended far beyond elected office, shaping conversations about civil rights, ethics, and leadership. When Barbara Jordan passed away in 1996 at age 59, America lost a pioneering stateswoman whose legacy continues to resonate. Today, she is remembered not only as a trailblazing politician, but also as a symbol of integrity, resilience, and public service. Her life remains an enduring example of how determination and principle can change the course of history. Bobby DeBarge. Bobby DeBarge was born into music, but his life became a complicated story of remarkable talent, personal struggles, and unanswered questions. As the eldest member of the family group DeBarge, Bobby possessed a distinctive falsetto that helped define the sound of modern R&B during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Long before the DeBarge siblings became household names, Bobby had already established himself as a gifted vocalist and songwriter through the influential group Switch, where his smooth voice attracted attention throughout the music industry. Growing up in a troubled household, Bobby faced difficulties that would follow him throughout his life. Despite those hardships, music became both his escape and his purpose. With Switch, he helped create hits such as There'll Never Be and earned admiration from artists across multiple genres. His songwriting abilities and vocal range placed him among the most respected young musicians of his generation. Yet, while his professional career flourished, his private life remained largely hidden from public view. As years passed, discussions surrounding Bobby's personal relationships and sexuality became part of conversations among biographers, family members, and music historians. Several accounts published after his death suggested that he struggled with aspects of his identity during an era when openness about sexuality could have severe consequences for a black male entertainer. Whether those stories are viewed through a historical or personal lens, they highlight the immense pressures many artists faced while trying to maintain successful careers. At the same time, Bobby battled substance abuse, a challenge that ultimately overshadowed much of his later life. Legal troubles and health problems gradually affected both his career and personal well-being. In 1995, he passed away at only 39 years old from complications related to AIDS. Today, Bobby DeBarge is remembered as far more than a tragic figure. His influence can still be heard in contemporary R&B, and many artists continue to cite him as an inspiration. His story remains a powerful reminder of extraordinary talent, hidden struggles, and a legacy that endures despite a life cut far too short. Willi Smith. Willi Smith revolutionized American fashion by proving that style did not have to be reserved for the wealthy. Born in Philadelphia in 1948, he possessed an extraordinary creative vision that would transform the industry during the 1970s and 1980s. At a time when high fashion often focused on exclusivity, Smith introduced a different philosophy. He believed clothing should be accessible, practical, and stylish for everyday people. That idea helped make him one of the most influential designers of his generation. After studying fashion and refining his skills, Smith launched the label Williwear in 1976. The brand quickly gained attention for blending comfort, creativity, and affordability. Rather than designing only for elite clients, he created clothing intended for diverse communities and real-world lifestyles. His collections appealed to a broad audience and challenged traditional assumptions about who fashion was meant to serve. What made Smith especially groundbreaking was his ability to merge art culture and design. He collaborated with dancers, visual artists, performers, and photographers, creating a multidisciplinary approach that felt innovative and modern. Long before diversity became a major industry conversation, Smith embraced inclusion as a central part of his work. His runways reflected a wider range of backgrounds, body types, and creative influences than many fashion shows of the era. Behind his public success, Smith maintained a relatively private personal life. As with many creative professionals of his generation, discussions about sexuality were often handled discreetly. Later historical accounts documented his place within Black LGBTQ+ history, helping future generations better understand the challenges faced by artists working during that period. In 1987, Willie Smith died at only 39 years old from complications related to AIDS. His death shocked the fashion world, cutting short a career that was still evolving, yet his influence never disappeared. Today, many designers continue to draw inspiration from his vision of inclusive fashion. Willie Smith's legacy extends beyond clothing. It lives on through the idea that creativity should be accessible to everyone regardless of background, status, or circumstance. Jean Anthony Ray. Jean Anthony Ray became a cultural icon through energy, charisma, and a passion for performance that captivated audiences around the world. Born in Harlem, New York in 1962, he grew up surrounded by music, dance, and the vibrant artistic atmosphere of the city. Those influences helped shape a young performer whose natural talent would eventually earn him international recognition. Ray's breakthrough arrived when he was cast as Leroy Johnson in the 1980 film Fame. The role showcased his exceptional dancing ability and magnetic screen presence. Audiences immediately connected with Leroy's determination, confidence, and dream of escaping difficult circumstances through artistic success. When Fame evolved into a successful television series, Ray became one of its most beloved stars, inspiring countless young viewers who shared similar aspirations. Throughout the 1980s, he was recognized as one of television's most exciting performers. His dance sequences brought energy and authenticity to the screen, helping define the spirit of the series. Yet the pressures of Fame were often accompanied by personal challenges that remained largely hidden from public view. Like many young entertainers suddenly thrust into the spotlight, Ray struggled to navigate the demands of celebrity while maintaining stability in his private life. In later years, his career slowed as personal and health difficulties became more significant. Discussions surrounding his life frequently include broader conversations about HIV/AIDS, social stigma, and the challenges faced by performers whose struggles were not always visible to fans. While details of his personal life have often been debated, there is little question that he faced obstacles that extended far beyond what audiences saw on television. Jean Anthony Ray passed away in 2003 at age 41. Although his life was relatively short, his impact remains meaningful. For many fans, he will always be remembered as the talented young dancer whose passion illuminated the screen. His story reflects both the excitement of sudden success and the often unseen realities faced by performers behind the scenes. Little Richard. Few artists changed the course of popular music as dramatically as Little Richard. Born Richard Wayne Penniman in Georgia, in 1932, he emerged from humble beginnings to become one of the founding architects of rock and roll. With his explosive performances, powerful voice, and unforgettable stage presence, he helped create a musical revolution that influenced generations of artists, from Elvis Presley to the Beatles, Prince, and countless others. During the 1950s, Little Richard exploded onto the music scene with hits such as Tutti Frutti, Long Tall Sally, and Good Golly Miss Molly. His energetic style challenged musical conventions and introduced a new level of excitement to popular entertainment. Audiences were captivated by his flamboyant, fashion-dramatic performances and fearless individuality. At a time when social expectations were far more restrictive, he stood apart from nearly every performer around him. Yet behind the fame existed a lifelong struggle involving faith, identity, and public perception. Throughout his career, Little Richard spoke openly at different times about his experiences, sometimes describing himself in ways that reflected same-sex attraction, and at other times expressing conflicting views shaped by religious beliefs. These public statements often generated discussion because they revealed the internal tensions he experienced while navigating fame, spirituality, and personal identity. What makes his story particularly relevant to this topic is that much of his life unfolded during an era when openly discussing sexuality carried significant risks, especially for Black entertainers. Despite those challenges, his influence remained undeniable. He broke barriers not only through music but also through his willingness to exist outside traditional expectations. When Little Richard passed away in 2020 at age 87, the world lost one of its most influential performers. His legacy extends far beyond chart success. He transformed popular music, inspired generations of artists, and demonstrated that authenticity, even when complicated, can leave an unforgettable mark on history. Today, he remains one of the most important and revolutionary figures ever to step onto a stage. Charlie Barnet. Charlie Barnet lived a life that was as bold, unpredictable, and unforgettable as the comedy routines that made him famous. Born in 1954 in South Carolina and raised in New York City, Barnet developed a sharp wit and fearless sense of humor at an early age. Long before mainstream audiences discovered him, he was already building a reputation on the streets, in clubs, and on comedy stages where quick thinking and originality were essential for survival. His natural charisma and ability to connect with audiences helped him stand out in one of the most competitive entertainment industries in America. During the 1970s and 1980s, Barnet became a respected figure in stand-up comedy. He gained national exposure through television appearances and became particularly well known for his performances on Def Comedy Jam, where his energetic delivery and unique storytelling style captivated audiences. Unlike many comedians who relied heavily on scripted material, Barnet often brought a spontaneous energy to the stage that made every performance feel fresh and unpredictable. Beyond comedy, Barnet's life reflected the challenges faced by many Black entertainers during a period when discussions about sexuality and HIV/AIDS were often surrounded by fear, stigma, and misunderstanding. While he was known among friends and colleagues as a gay man, much of his personal life remained outside mainstream public discussion. Like many performers of his generation, he navigated a society that was far less accepting than it is today, particularly for Black LGBTQ+ individuals working in entertainment. Despite these obstacles, Barnet never lost the vibrant personality that made him beloved among fellow comedians. His humor remained authentic, fearless, and deeply human. Sadly, his life was cut short in 1996 when he passed away at the age of 41 from complications related to AIDS. Today, Charlie Barnet is remembered not only as a talented comedian, but also as a trailblazer whose story reflects both the triumphs and struggles of an important era in entertainment history. His legacy lives on through the laughter he created and the barriers he helped break for future generations of performers. As we've discovered, behind the fame, chart-topping hits, standing ovations, and public admiration were deeply personal stories that many of these celebrities rarely discussed openly. Some lived during a time when revealing their true feelings could have destroyed careers, damaged reputations, or even put their safety at risk. Others chose privacy over publicity, carrying secrets while continuing to inspire millions through their talent. But their stories raise an important question: should public figures have been expected to share every part of their private lives, or did they have the right to keep those truths to themselves? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Which story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and join the conversation here on Golden Black Legends.